All right, hey guys. So this is going to be the analysis of the first map's going to be Lijiang Tower, which is OUJV on blue side versus the SFU Bears on red side. So this is the first. This is the first map. This is the one I actually didn't get to see any part of. So this is my first time seeing it. We're just gonna go over some things that you guys as JV can kind of focus on. And we're going to see if we can find things for you guys to really improve upon, as this was the one map out of the three that you guys did not manage to win. So first and foremost, like the composition. So this Somber Reaper is quote unquote meta. Now, is there really like a very strong meta right now? No, there's not a strong meta right now. This you can replace this with any number of things, and it would be basically equally as strong, especially at a 34, 35, 3600 level. That high diamond, low masters level, which is what you're playing at. There's a number of things you could play here. That would be equally as strong, especially on this map. Reaper's very strong, but Junkrat's very strong, Doomfist is very strong, Symmetra's very strong, Tracer, Genji, McCurry, anything that can survive kind of in that mid-range, mid to short range, is pretty good. So this can be any number of things. We're mirror matching the tank line, which this tank line is pretty strong on this map, and the quote-unquote normal tank line of like Winston Zarya, or Winston Diva anyway, doesn't work quite as well on this map, in this enclosed of a map. It does work, but not quite as well, so I'm okay with that tank line. And then obviously I'm fine with this support line, although we did kind of talk about how Destiny's very uncomfortable on this Lucio, so we may in the future want to switch who's playing who, but we'll go on from there.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Okay, so this might be a little bit counterproductive, but I'm gonna go ahead and start with quite a kind of more advanced concept. Is okay. So as a Sombra, you generally work on off angles. So what you're hoping to do here is you're hoping to have this angle, hack something in this area, and then have your team pinch down with you on this area. Is essentially the hope in this angle. I would have rather you do this. So pinch down from this angle. So go to point side and pinch down from this angle. There's two reasons I would rather you go ahead and pinch down from that angle, rather than the one I just deleted. And the first reason, I think the most obvious reason, is if we go from the left side here, or the top side, I suppose, and we pinch down from the pink arrow, their line of retreat is 2 point, and point control is extremely important. So if we have the pink arrow, if the pink arrow is where we're pushing, then their line of retreat, in all likelihood, anyway, it should be, is this way, which means we're basically giving them point control, because we are saying, hey, we're going to hack you from this angle and we're going to push you from this angle, meaning they can back up to their own spawn, but that's not a very wise move here. The wiser move is that, and the more likely move from their point of view, is that they back up to the actual point down here instead. So I would highly recommend that you actually come in from this other yellow arrow right here, because that is a more aggressive angle, and they're going to have to turn and look at you, and it's at least a little bit of a pinch right there where it's going to take them that second longer in this very, very open area to make anything work, right? So this is a problem. The other thing I will say, that's the first reason. The other thing I will say is, this angle actually has quite a few more scouting opportunities. So it has a much bigger choke, obviously, than this tiny thing over here. So because of that, you can actually see more this way, but you can actually also see more this way. So you can see where things are, and you have a much higher chance of getting some good scouting information for your team. Because if they have a Sombra or Tracer or whatever, and they come this way instead of you, well, they're just giving you exactly what you said is you rotate down to point. Oh, look, our Sombra's already there. We have a 6-stack on point with point control, and we're looking at this big choke right here. And since you're over here already, you have scouts over on this choke right here as well. So it's better to go this way. 90% of the time. The 10% of the time it's not better to go this way is if you're playing a seconds comp, which it means you're playing a much slower composition. Because if you're playing a much slower composition, you actually don't want to go this way, because if you go this way and you hack something, you're basically forcing your team to engage, because otherwise you're going to get pushed out of this position really fast, because that's the rotation angle. So going this way, if you're playing a seconds comp, a slow comp, which by the way, this is not a slow comp. If you're playing a seconds comp, a slow comp, if you're going to go this way, you can go this way, get a hack, try to get a pick or some early cooldowns out of them, so that your team can then kind of pick and choose what angle they want to come, and then you have a fast rotation over here as well. So that's the other part of this. But since you're playing kind of like a really fast brawly comp, you don't want this angle. You actually want that one there. Okay. Okay, sorry. One thing we do have to be extremely aware of is Moira threw a damage orb down the way. So Moira threw a damage orb immediately. That's a hard engage. If Moira throws a damage orb, they're down the majority of their healing kind of immediately. Especially if like Lucio already amped, but even if he didn't, the fact that she'll throw a damage orb on engage, and good hack on the Reinhardt as well. That's a great hack off that. Because of that, we need to hard engage. Now, like I said, they actually have a way to survive this in the fact that they have so much, like they have a bubble here. They might not survive it anyway, but they have a bubble here and everything that they're going to rotate this way. But like it's still, it's a good hack, and it's things like that we need to get rid of. Now, I will say, off the hack and no bubble, we don't push hard enough. So like if we watch the movement of the whole team right here, is we go in, we back up, we fire strike as we're backing up, we go in, we swing once. By the way, Sucker, you see how long the animation for Reinhardt takes? Start swinging when you're back here and walk forward into the animation. If you hit them at any part of the animation, a Rein hitbox animation is, if this is Reinhardt, this is the hitbox, right? This is uneven, but you get the point. This is the hitbox. If your hammer starts over here and swings all the way over here, if the person walks into your hitbox right here as the animation is finishing over here, it'll count the hit. So as long as this hammer is being held and it's just swinging away, if any part of this hitbox touches an enemy, it'll automatically hit the enemy. So as you're walking forward into this Reinhardt, hold mouse 1 as you're walking forward that last like meter into the Reinhardt, because your hammer might be over here and he might be walking into it over here, but it will count. Okay. And like I said, because your Sombra came this way, and they want point control, the retreat angle is this way. And now they have this choke to kind of try to control what's going on. But frankly, we're just too slow. So we did this ebb and flow thing, which there is ebb and flow. I do want you to ebb and flow, but we need to know when to ebb and flow. If they're throwing a damage orb like this, Tracer's in the backline over here, and we have a hacked Reinhardt with no shield, and their Zarya isn't retreating appropriately, that's not an ebb, that's a flow. That's a go, right? That's a go. We need to kill something. Now, once you kill something, you do actually need to back off, because once you kill something, you're actually draining so many resources just trying to kill this Reinhardt or anything. This Zarya is free. This Reinhardt's free right now. This Tracer could potentially be free. The Reaper still has Fade, so he's not free, and the Moira still has Fade too, so those are not free. But we're draining so many resources just killing one target right now, because we're playing so far in the open. We're not playing up on the corner. We're not playing up behind this thing. We're not playing like with point control at all. We're not doing any of this. We're playing way out in the open, which is a mistake in and of itself, but it's a mistake that the other team's not going to capitalize on right now, because they have a hacked Reinhardt, and you know, no more orb, and I'm pretty sure Zarya, because of the charge I'm seeing, has already used both bubbles. So because of this, they're not going to take advantage of it. But we're going to kill the Reinhardt, and our resources are going to be so drained that we're going to have to take a soft reset, which is fine because we have 13 seconds till the point unlocks. So we're going to have to like kill him, take a soft reset, and the soft reset should actually be to rotate back around here and come this way, because by the time you're done with this rotation, your resources will have come back and everyone will be full health. And then you can push on a point with full point control, and this Zarya has to rotate into you as well. So this is kind of should be the plan. But we're not pushing nearly hard enough. We're kind of ebb and flowing. Like, we're still backing off. Like, we're still way backing off. Okay, so we got the Reaper. Yeah, and Nova's too aggressive. So, Trevor, we're, like, here when we need to be here. Or even back there. Is the thing. Like, we're just way too aggressive. Now, I know that things were happening with this Tracer and a bunch of other stuff. But, like, at a certain point, we need to be aware of things. And this is one of the reasons that Destiny is, like, not used to Lucio. Because one of the Lucio's greatest assets to his team is the ability to peel for his fellow support. And he doesn't really know how to do that yet. And he doesn't really know, like, much of anything on Lucio. He openly admits this. So, with Moira being dove from so many different angles, I assume you're just not used to getting peels from him, or really a lot of your team. Because, like, bubble here can be a peel, damage here can be a peel. You know, a hack coming in the back lane can be a peel. This can be turned, like, a lot can be a peel in this composition because you're so grouped. But it's because of that, you kind of fade into your front line. Or at least walk into your front line. I'm not entirely sure you fade there. And because of that, we actually end up in an even fight in which they almost have advantage because they have main heals up. And we're going to have to play kind of safe until we get a decent hack off, or Achilles can kind of teleport to the back line. And by the way, Achilles, that's what you need to be doing. So we got these trades down. As soon as this trades goes down, we either need to be hard pushing this Reaper when he comes out of fade, or we need to be teleporting into the back line over here. And doing what we can to kind of create a little bit of a pinch on point is what we need to be doing.
Get into position.
Okay, and really not a lot of time. He kind of goes by himself. It's okay. See, Sucker. Okay. Sucker, I'm gonna back up for a second. Watch your entire movement. Watch, like, how little natural cover, like the Reinhardt here, Harrison. Watch how little natural cover you use, and watch how you're kind of swinging at nothing this entire time. This is what we need to avoid as a Reinhardt. Be concise in your decision making. We want point control. Oops, sorry. We want point control. So go to point. Stay around your natural cover. Go after a target when a target presents itself. You're kind of fidgeting around this area a lot, and you're kind of just going back and forth like this, like doing nothing and just taking damage. Okay, this is what we need to avoid. Like, watch yourself. Right? Like there's just nothing you're really going after that entire period of time. Where are you now? Oh, you're behind the thing. There's nothing you're really going after the entire time, right? So, and we finally kind of go under this cover. Like, you swing at the Lucio, but Lucio's going to get out of range really quickly, right? So we're doing all that stuff pretty consistently. So we need to be aware of this. But we're not target focusing. Like, it's very obvious we're in target focusing, right? Like, I was on 2x speed, but I don't think I need to say much to say, like, hey, target focus, right? Like, what are we on? Like, Sombra's kind of on the, like, we're over there, we're kind of over there. Harrison's way up by himself. Harrison's still way up by himself. There's now a Reaper on that side, Reaper's on that side. Lucio's kind of going for a rollout in the middle of nowhere. You know, Sombra is now going after the Reaper too. We finally got there, but Zarya shoots something else entirely. We got a good fire strike off, but things like that. Now, let's talk about, like, the first alt economy fight, okay? So the first alt economy fight is we have both support alts. We're getting kind of close to Grav, and then we have no damage alts, which is quite normal. But we have both support alts, and we have a Reinhardt alt here. Now, bad teams, bleh, okay, lower ranked teams, I shouldn't say bad teams, lower ranked teams, what they're going to want to do here is they're going to want to try to cull in first and trade these culls out. So they're going to want to try to trade these culls out to, hey, calm yourself. Sorry. They're going to want to try to trade these culls out, and they're going to try to see if they can get any picks kind of that way. What you should do is, so your team's trying to play first, right? So, meaning you're trying to engage. What I would actually much prefer here, as far as a team composition is concerned, is say, hey, oh, look at the Ryan shield, right? Say, hey, you know, our Ryan has done a really good job of getting a 30% ult advantage on the other Reinhardt. let's not actually use any of our support alts right here. Let's not use any of this. Let's kind of hold on to all of that, especially because we need beat for like the Reaper alt, although he is charging it quite fast comparatively, and things like that. But and we can use EMP kind of for the same deal. Instead of that, let's just see if we can break the Reinhardt shield from like back here. Like play slow. Let's break the Reinhardt shield. Let's hold back here, right? Let's hold back here. Break the Reinhardt shield. Let's see if we can play nice and slow. And the moment this Reinhardt shield's broken, let's speed push in and see if we can shatter. Okay, that's a better plan, because the thing is that we need this Lucio ult. Okay, so basically this is saying we don't have this Lucio ult because we kind of need this for later, for the next fight. Okay, we can't expend this, and Cole's not going to win us anything because they also have Cole. So Cole's not going to win anything, and Lucio ult's not there. Therefore, we're down to just these 4 ultimates here, and under 75%, we probably don't have the ultimates, so those are kind of gone, right? 84% is kind of iffy. I don't know that we want to play that slow. That's really, really slow. But this Reinhardt's already showed a penchant for not being able to like properly manage his shield, case in point. And we have a Sombra when they do not. So we have an ample opportunity to kind of get Harrison a free shatter. So if we play slow, play for a hack on the off angle, play for a broken shield, things like that, I think that's our best bet as a team. Now, what I would like to do is the plan should be, okay, let's break the Reinhardt shield. Kyler, let's go ahead and hack the Zarya. Actually, let's hack the Zarya so that she can't bubble at any point during this, so they're down all tank abilities basically at that point. Then let's speed in, shatter, clean up 4, and then we'll go into next fight with a really solid next fight we can like trade Coles, and into our Cole we can throw a grav before right before they have their grav. And then we can hold beat, hopefully even another one. So our goal really is to maintain this beat for as long as humanly possible. We really don't want to use this beat for as long as humanly possible. It's really our goal. Yeah, so we trade Coles instead, which isn't necessarily a terrible thing. Okay, but we do stack support alts, so there's no reason to stack support alts at all. So we do Cole, but not only do we Cole, but we're actually up our main tank already. So we're up our main tank. We still have the choke control completely. We have all the natural coverage regarding that choke control. And no one's weak. So Sucker's at half health, which is what that is, because he still has armor, right? Actually, he's not even half health. He still has armor. He's like 80% health. So everyone's really, really high health still. There's just a Reaper in our backline. Well, a Reaper backline is really not that concerning, especially if we have Cole up. All we have to do is come over here and kind of pressure as a Lucio. So this is a completely wasted ultimate, frankly. So we need to try to not do that as much as humanly possible. We didn't need to even, like, better teams, the team you're playing this weekend, for example, you're going to want to go with my plan, not this trade Cole plan, because this trade Cole plan is not going to hold the choke as heavily as what you just did, because the enemy Reinhardt's going to be better than just flat pushing into a trade Cole when you have the clear advantage. What you're going to want to do instead is use that hack and the shield break. Now, if you can't shield break because the enemy Reinhardt's way better, then you might want to start hacking the enemy Reinhardt, or you might want to say focus shield, or you might want to say, okay, let's trade Coles to sustain the fight a little bit longer, and then we can kind of do what we're doing from there. Okay, I'm just going to kind of let this play, and we'll see where we go from here. Okay, so that fight ends, and so you really get like one pick, really, right, in that fight with the traded Cole. But they got Cole out and beat out. So they got both these out, and we just got this out from them. So they're at a clear advantage now. So they're at a very, very clear advantage now. So we have to do something to try to even this up, because it's not like we're down alts, right? We have 4. They just also have 4, but the issue is that they have beat. And the one that they don't have out of those 5, obviously, is Pulse Bomb, which is they essentially have 5, right? This is like 4.5 basically, because Pulse Bomb is so fast. She's already at 70%. So we have to do kind of something interesting here to kind of even this out a little bit, because we don't have a defensive ult anymore, because that was a wasted Lucio ult essentially. So what we kind of have to do is we have to decide, okay, how do we set this up appropriately. And I think that you can go with a number of plans here. So you can play really slow. So you can back all the way up to this pillar, have your Reaper stand up here, have a hack go down on the Rhine or the Zarya, and then try to jump off and Reaper ult somewhere to try to pick up like the backline, for example, right here. You can try that. You can try playing the same thing, but you play extremely slow, waiting for the EMP. Then you can EMP right here, pop out and shatter. I think you hold Graviton basically no matter what, because I think you're trying to hold for the grav kind of for the beat. So like if you grab, they're going to beat. Now you do have this EMP available, and so because of this, the best plan probably is to play really slow, and then either grab first or Reaper ult first, and then you EMP. So you grab first your EMP, or really I think you should Reaper ult. I think you should play slow, let them come in, and then drop with Reaper, and then they'll beat. And then you EMP as well. So you expend both DPS ultimates to kind of get rid of this area. And hopefully at that point in time, you're getting rid of beat, which is kind of the most crucial ultimate in both of these compositions. At that point in time, you're getting rid of beat, and therefore we're going into the next fight with hopefully these two ults to these to kind of these four ults. But at that point in time, we're already going to be up at like 70%, and maybe at 70% we can do something. We can like maybe hack the Reinhardt, and we get a nice shatter out, or maybe we can put Reinhardt over here and let them in and see if he can walk behind and get a shatter, do something cheeky, right? That's really the only way we're going to win the next fight after this. But we're not concerned with the next fight. We're concerned with this fight. But those should be the plans that going through your head as a team right now. Is we wasted beat, so we have to even this up somehow. How are we going to even it out? So we got to play slower. By the way, playing slower here is called playing seconds. It's called playing seconds because you're letting them make the first move. Now, we actually are backing up to a relatively stable position, and as I said, we actually have to move all the way up on the choke. I will say, yeah, I will say, these tanks, you're better than these tanks. You're flat better. Like, our tank 2 is flat better than their tank 2, because their Reinhardt has no idea how to maintain a shield. And then their Zarya is purely bubbling for charge. So because of that, we got it. We did the exact same thing we did before, and Achilles is just absolutely eating this Reinhardt's lunch, dude. Like the shield's going down instantaneously, and everything else is going down. And yeah, we're picking up everything because of this. Now, what I find interesting here is we actually lose this map 0-2, so we find a way to lose this. We find a way to lose this round actually, which is interesting. So they do have 5 ultimates here. They don't have Cole, which is interesting as well, because they should have it by now. But they have 5 ultimates here, but we have 3, including EMP. So when you have 5 ultimates like this, and we have 3, but one of ours is EMP and one of theirs is beat, you play extremely slow. You come back here, you go back here, you try to throw, you do the exact same thing. I mean, you still have the entire win condition. You have a Reaper off the top or Graviton from the side over here. And then when they throw beat, you EMP and you clean the entire thing up before they can kind of get off any of these other things. Okay, and it's a delicate balance, right? Because they have Grav, Pulse, Grav, Reaper, Shatter, anything else, right? But you have EMP, so it's a delicate balance, and it's really up to Kyler to go, okay, where's the moment, all right? Not Kyler, I'm sorry. It's really up to Austin to go, okay, where's the moment? Because if they push into here, you're giving them space, but you can't give them so much time and space that they can get off 2 to 3 ults before the Reaper drops. So the Reaper really, as soon as they walk into the space, the moment between them walking into the space and them using ultimates in that space is the moment Reaper needs to figure out where to drop, ult, and that's and hopefully they throw beat in that moment, right? And we obviously bubble that Reaper ultimate at the same time. And when they throw, and then what needs to happen is drop Reaper ult, speed the Reinhardt and the Zarya with a bubble on the Reaper from around this pillar into the enemy team. The moment beat drops, Kyler's on this off angle pushing already. The moment beat drops, he EMPs on this angle, and then everything just dies as Nova throws Healing Orb and sprays down the barrel. Okay, that is the only way we win. But like that, this is why Sombra is so freaking good, is because you have an ult disadvantage here. They have 5 ultimates to your 3, yet there's a very good chance you win this next fight. despite a deficit of 2 at alt economy. There's a really, really good chance you win this fight. But know it's okay to give space. We're constantly holding this choke, which isn't necessarily wrong, but know it's okay to give this space. And eventually they're going to realize they need to go this way if you're going to keep pulling that choke. And now they realize it. So look at this now. Look at this now. So because we're playing so far forward, the enemy Zarya grabs here. That's a good play by her. They need to play first. They can't allow this EMP to come out. And ruin their entire alt economy before it even like has a chance to go off, because they're not going to get another fight after this. So Zarya does a really good job on their team realizing that, oh, they're on the choke, right? And they don't have beat and they don't really have anything else. And they already used one of the bubbles. Let's grab right here on the choke, because they have no cover in any direction. That's why we need to play back here and play seconds. They have no cover in any direction. So that we play up on the choke, which is not necessarily a good position here to have. And we need to back up off. Yeah, that's good kill 3, and then the plan's late. So this is why. So you had the plan, guys. Like, your plan was beautiful. Okay, your plan was great. You did exactly what I wanted you guys to do, but in the wrong order and in the wrong position. Imagine if you did the exact same thing, but we're back here, so they have a really hard time pushing into this, because they now have to push into all of this open space, and we have the natural cover, right, to shoot into that open space. So they have to push into this. Our Reaper drops off the top here, so because they have to push into this natural space, they're not grabbing first. They can't grab first, so they push into this natural space. We come down with the Reaper roll, and then we EMP, and now this is, instead of going down 0-3 in kills, we're up 3-0 in kills. This is the difference in positioning. This is a positioning problem, okay? This is a realization that they're up alt economy. We cannot hold close when they're up alt economy like this. Not when we need them in the open space. This is baiting the open space, okay? You need to bait the open space in control a lot. And anything that's a standard cap point, okay? You need to bait the open space a lot. And this is baiting the open space. And we're chasing bad fights with bad ultimates over here. And this is how we lose the round, is using those 2 ultimates in that position. Because now we come back with 2 ultimates. Oh, they actually used 3 there. They used beat on top of that. That was terrible. Okay, so their beat was actually also terrible. So both beats in this game have been really, really terrible right now. Sorry about the camera. Okay, so now we push into them, but this is too aggressive. We're not alive yet. Summer's way back there. I don't think Reaper's even. Where's Reaper? He's right there. Okay, so like Summer's way over here. She's not prepared yet. So when you're playing a Summer, you got to make sure your Summer's prepared. Like ask him if he's on and off angle. Like, you want to engage off hacks a lot. So because you don't have anything, you don't have anything, and this is way too far up, because they can just engage you here and kill you straight off, because fine, there might be bubbles available, but they can see most of what's behind you, and they can see that you don't have a lot of support, so they can straight kill you right here. So you can't really play this corner. You actually have to play this thing back here, this little like Apollo space mission thing. And then we regroup and then kind of like slowly push up, and again they're throwing damage orbs down the barrel, and they're using like their cooldown economy sucks. Like, this is why they're a 3500 team and not higher, is because their cooldowns are terrible. This beat was terrible. The cold trade was terrible. These bubbles are only being used for charge, like nothing else. They're not even on the engage. Like the Reinhardt shield, the Reinhardt shield's terrible. Like, everything is really terrible. Now their DPS are doing really well. Like, their DPS are doing really, really well as far as like keeping their team in the game through picks and just like their cooldown usage. But their tanks and their supports need a lot of work. But knowing that, though, you play slower, because knowing that they're going to make a mistake here. Like, between this and this, they're going to make a mistake. Like, DPS can only do so much, so they're going to make a mistake. But this hard push here, like, even with your team regrouping here, it's a problem. That's a good block. Okay, so we trade again. We're trading Coles with only one other ultimate. This doesn't work. Okay, so like trading Coles, and we only have one other ultimate to kind of commit. This doesn't work, because our entire concept is to play off EMP. That's like why we have a Sombra. Play off EMP and hacks. Now we hacked a Tracer. I mean, it just doesn't really do much. Like, we hacked a Tracer off like a 1v1 off angle, and fine, okay, fine, take the Tracer and Sombra out. We're 1v1ing. There's not enough damage here to follow up on a grab. There's just not. Like, especially with a Cole in place, like, Austin cannot be expected to do all of this damage with a 2-man grab with a Cole coming down the barrel and a shield still active for the rent. Like, it's just not possible. Right? Like we actually did get both in the grab, but the Reaper came in and got 2 instantaneously as well. Like, there's just not a lot we can do there. So we have to play smarter than this. So like we have to know that the grab is not good enough. A grab by itself is not a win condition ever. Grab and a support alt is not a win condition. You have to have a grab and either like a DPS alt of some kind or a grab and like the only actually I lied. There's one support alt that you can put with a grab and it's nano. Because it's not actually a support alt, it's the increased damage from the other player. So like if you have nano and you have a grab, you want to nano the Reinhardt into the grab or Winston in the grab, okay, fine, that's enough damage. But the point is, the support alts generally don't put out enough damage to follow up on a graviton. So that's not a win condition. We need to get that out of our like win condition bank of things we can do. That's not a win condition, okay? And we go into the next fight with just beat, and they're at 30%, but they have nothing, and I think we know they have nothing because they just did this. They just cold last fight. They beat it in the fight before that, and that was a really fast fight we just did. There's no way he has enough. Reaper used his in the last fight. Graviton was used the fight before that, and we block Shatter. So at the very, very most, we know that they have Pulse Bomb, okay? Pulse Bomb to beat is interesting. What we probably should do here is we probably should actually play quite slow. Because we know we have advantages in alt economy, is we probably should play quite slow and see if we can get this Shatter built. Because if we can get this Shatter built, the thing is, if we Pulse Bomb one guy, all right, fine. We'll play really slow. We'll play around corners. Put one person gets Pulse Bomb. You go perfect. And you back away as you kind of finish out the alt charge for this. And you wait for that one person to come back. They go on back. You speed in. And you have the hack on an off angle on the enemy Reinhardt, and then you get the free Shatter off, and you get the last 10% because you get the free Shatter off, and worst comes to worst, this Reaper, this Tracer, start to try to one clip somebody, and you get beat off as well. This should be a free win. In this alt economy situation at 90 to 30%, we should win this round easily. This should not be an issue for us at all because we all we do is play slow, play for the Shatter. That's a bad pick. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's really not that bad because again, we have 60% playground, right? And we're still building that Shatter this entire time. So because we're building the Shatter the entire time, and that's really the thing, we want to play slow anyway. We don't want that Sombra really fleshed out like that. But I mean, if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. And we built the Shatter in the meantime. Now, unfortunately, their Zarya is building Grav extremely fast. Now that's what we don't want. So they're building Shatter, they're building Grav extremely fast, but and we can't afford, because of that pick, we can't afford to let this go off now. So we kind of have to hack this now and get the Shatter off. This has to be a now issue. That pick actually costs us quite a bit, more than I was anticipating initially. And we're splitting really hard. Yeah, so the Zarya went this way, the other team went this way, the rest of us kind of went this way. Like, do you see how many different directions we're looking? Like, okay, fine, we're kind of pinching down in this area, but not really, because there's a Zarya over here. I'm not sure what Smitty was looking at over here, so we have to be really careful of that, because we're giving them free fight wins. And more importantly, we're giving them free economy. So we actually get the hack off on the Reinhardt, too. So if we actually play together and just kind of do what we need to do, we get the hack off on the Reinhardt. Okay, we're at a severe alt economy disadvantage because we've been feeding them this entire time. So from 20% to 67%, we straight feed. I mean, we just do. Like that's a huge issue. We need to try to fix that as much as humanly possible. We got a Sombra pick over here. We had like another, I can't remember, another pick over here, and then we kind of just split on our first actual push, really hard, and it's just not good at all. So what we need to do, and if you need to beat to engage like that last push, if you needed to beat to engage, but like now they have like all of this stuff. So now like we're going to call to engage here probably, which is probably the right call, but we're going to call to engage. So we're going to trade Coles out, right? We're going to trade Coles out completely. And Kyler has to be in position to hack this Reinhardt, because the moment he hacks this Reinhardt, and our Shatter comes down, we need to kill everything within 2 seconds, or we're kind of dead because of this thing here. So we need to actually be absolutely certain that's the plan, and that's what we need to do moving forward. And Chris needs to play quite slow. So Chris needs to like stay back here for this entire process in case something happens, so that he can like jump around, beat really quick, have line of sight on everybody, beat what he needs to beat, and everything. Okay, so we trade Coles. We decided to go upper left. I'm not in love with this plan, and we trade beat for graviton, which is fine. I'm not in love with this plan. I am in love with Austin's positioning. I think this is fantastic, but I would rather the Sombra also be in this position. But I don't love this plan because you're giving yourself an even tighter choke, right? You're giving yourself an even tighter choke between there and the doorway that I'm actually in right now. And it's not like you're really surprising them, right? Like that's not the issue. Like if you set this up where say we're going to go up here so that Sombra can stand here, and the moment Sombra calls it, he's going to hack the Reinhardt, and that's the very first thing we're doing. That plan I like, but you can do that plan on the other side as well as you can do it on this side, right? That plan I like though. But here we're just saying we're going top because we haven't gone, the mid hasn't worked for us, which like, yeah, okay, don't do the same thing over and over again, but at the same time, like, come on. You know? These are shattered. But the Tracer just pick up 2 off the Pulse Bomb. We almost get enough picks coming out with the Reaper. We're not bubbling appropriately, by the way. I have not seen a bubble on a Reaper ult or an EMP or a Cole or like an engage with a Reinhardt, really. Like the bubbles just aren't, they're coming either a second too early. I think they're generally coming early actually, but they're either coming a second too early or a second too late. But I think the tendency is early.
This will restore you.
Yeah, we're going to lose because of that. Nova's going to go touch, and we're going to stagger in, but, I mean, that doesn't... Don't worry about that.
Ready for battle.
I did see most of this round, but just from Achilles' perspective. But, so, we engaged... So, we switched to a monkey. Both teams switched to a monkey. So, we switched to a monkey. So, Monkey is going to be a lot more of baiting that open space, right? So like where do we want to fight as a team? Well, we kind of want to fight them in kind of this area or on point. So if we want to bait the open space like that, the general idea here I think should be for Chris to speed everyone to point, and the monkey can kind of jump on this middle pillar on point side, and we kind of bait these chokes, bait the open space, right? And just kind of allow the Sombra to hack from this angle as we're kind of pressuring from this angle. And then we actually also give Austin the ability to kind of Reaper into the back line, try to get cooldowns or big things out, maybe even like go with a hack. And then he can kind of fade back into a really safe choked area is really the idea here. But I don't think that's what we do. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, so we give them the control. So they decide that they actually want to play in this open area, bait this open area, and they play these chokes instead. I'm not a fan of this, only because this open area has fast lines of retreat to health packs and a lot more like open space to do stuff. So this is one choke. So if you play in this area, this is one choke that they have to deal with. But then if you push into that, they actually have to deal with another choke. So you actually want to play in this choke. You want to play that choke if you're the team that has point control. Which is what they have right now, but that's okay. Okay, so we push in really hard into this open area. So they bait the open area, and they actually get it. And as I say that, they're actually not baiting the open area. They're standing in the open area, which is a really bad position, which is, I assume, why their Winston is this low, and then they have a hacked Zarya. So this is actually a pretty good push. But the bubbles are wrong, so we bubble Nova here, which I'm pretty sure you just got in your way. But again, I mean, it's a problem, right? But the heals are also not coming down. Keep in mind that the Lucio heals don't go through shield. So like the heals are also not coming down heavy enough. Okay, good soft good soft reset, as I say that a little bit. Yeah, it was a good soft disengage though. We're up 1. We have 5 seconds left at the point. It was a good job doing that.
The objective is now.
Okay, we need to jump though. We got 2 now. Yeah, so that's a bad. We need to go here. That's a bad cap. It's 4v6, and their Winston's gonna be back in time. It's a good soft disengage. It's a really good soft disengage actually, knowing that you have time, blah blah blah. But we don't hard engage after that. Like you need to hard engage after that. None of this like pussyfooting. Like you gotta go. Like, and that's the thing is Austin goes there, but no one else does, so he dies for it, right? Good pick. Great pick.
Get into position.
That's a good engage in the backline too. Like I cannot tell you how good that was. So like that engage was one of the best things I've ever seen you do, Harrison. Because what you did is this is the open area, right? We don't want to fight here. We're on these chokes. You realize a weak target in the backline. You jump over the open area, essentially pinching the open area with the rest of your team, killing a main hero in the process. So you realize there's someone low. You bait the open area and pinch the open area now that they have no choice to, because they can't back off point. Because they back off point, now they're choking themselves. So you're forcing their team into a really, really messed up position here. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant monkey play. I mean, it's fantastic main tank play, because essentially you're pinching the entire point here, and there's no way for the other team to do anything. It's really, really, really well done. And it's also really, really well done Sombra play to play with your team there instead of opposite. I'm kind of surprised we actually took that point there, considering I remember how the rest of this point goes. Okay, so just to be clear, we did not trade coals there. We coaled without their coal, so they have a coal advantage on us right now, which is not. I mean, it's not that bad. But they have a coal advantage. Now, what we need to do is use monkey ult kind of to trade coal out. So, not to say I don't need you on the coal. I just need you on using the monkey ult to kind of sustain the fight until we can get kind of our larger ultimates online. And so this coal doesn't affect us too heavily. So coal and primal are kind of two low impact ultimates, unless you kind of let them be higher impact. So because of that, you can trade those out to kind of sustain a fight, because we need to sustain the fight to get these kind of higher impact ultimates online. So the next fight should be to play seconds, play slow, and allow Harrison to use his primal to kind of get everything down. No. Okay. So again, we're using grab without any companion ults. This is not good enough. Okay, especially when they have so many other both support ults online, but so many other ultimates online and stuff like that. You can't grab like this. This is not okay. Like, yes, we get one, but like again, it's not okay. Like it's not enough. Again, they're gonna get 4 because of it. Like again, we just need to monkey ult to sustain the fight. If they use the Reaper ult, just beat and sustain the fight further until we get this EMP online, right? And then we can grab, like, we get everything online there. Okay, they're down the Reaper ult, they're down the coal, they're down the this because we EMP'd them, and because we EMP'd, they're also down all of their cooldowns. Okay, now grab, because that's an EMP grab now, because they're down 3 ultimates to getting a value out of it. They're EMP grabbing, but our position doesn't allow for that because we're here and here. Look at all this open space we're standing in. Why are we not like baiting this position and allowing Harrison to kind of just play under like he was, and then allowing himself to like primal out of it to kind of survive as we keep baiting ultimates and keep baiting this open space? Like, we need to consistently bait this open space here. That's the idea. That's why we play cover so much, is we're baiting the open space. We want them to take the open space while we're in all this cover so that their ultimates mean nothing. Okay, that's the whole point. We want them in that open space, right? We want them there. Okay, so we pull. We're not trading pulls anymore. Okay, we got to the coal, and then the EMP got us the fight. Honestly, there wasn't a lot to that fight, but I also skipped ahead a little bit. But there's not a whole lot to that fight. That's good though. That's fine. Again, we kind of pushed into them with ults, which is kind of the only way you break these chokes, right? Okay, see how Moira's playing over here? Like Chris, look where you are. Like, why? Like, they could jump you here, and there's nothing you could do. There's literally nothing other than beat, and we don't want to trade beat just because you're out of position. Like, that's one of the worst things you can do as Lucio. Like, why are we here? Go over here. Like, there's no reason to be here, right? Achilles, you're a little bit too far back. I would actually rather you on the statue because you have get out of jail free card. Sombra's fine over here. You're fine there. You're fine there. Like, everything else is fine. But I don't know why Chris is... Like, Chris and Reaper are a little bit too far back. Okay. That's actually kind of huge. I don't know if you did this on purpose, but that beat only hit 3. Right? And a lot of the reason it only hit 3 is because we bubbled right in the middle of it. So that was actually kind of huge. So we kind of need to realize this, condense down on this Winston here, right? And I don't know why Sinner's way back here. I think he was staggered in or something. But if he staggered, we should have played a lot slower than we did.
Allow me to repair the damage.
So that should have got killed. So that was actually a lot less Curse's fault that time. That was a lot more like, I don't know why we didn't condense down that Winston. He was bubbled, but like the bubble had gone down. He was half health bubbled with no beat. Like that should have been a condensed down on that Winston hardcore. But I mean, the position didn't help. The starting position of like one guy's back here, one guy's over here, two guys are over here, one guy's over here, one guy's over here. Like, do you see how split we were? Like literally our positioning, if we just number our positioning, is we had two here, one coming back from spawn, one here, and one here. Like, what's the plan here? Right? Like, what's the plan? Like, maybe if like this is an Ashe back here or a Zen or something, right? Maybe if this is like some long range like get value character, and then this is the main tank and main healer, which it actually was. So that's fine. And then this is a Sombra, which it actually was. So these are fine. And then this is like a I don't know, like a I guess like mid range, like a Kree or something. But it wasn't. It was the Moira, or no, not the Moira. It was the Reaper, right? And then there's no one that's good in that position. Like I don't know. This is just bad. But like this is bad, and this is bad. And because those are bad, this becomes bad because now like our front line sucks, and so there's no real pinch here. So this now becomes bad. And actually this becomes bad too, because it's like, well, that's too far forward because we don't have enough support to actually hold there, right? So it's hugely problematic, just absolutely. To engage, so we trade for Cole with no ults. Now they did grab, but yeah, there is still that. Again, SFU should have. I remember this, but actually they pocketed the crap out of their high noon. Okay, and that's actually the end because you guys stagger in after this. But so essentially, like, know positionally where you want to set up and where you want to fight at. I think that was kind of the main thing from this VOD, right? Know where you want to fight at. Bait the open space is the term I use in the VOD pretty frequently. Is know actually where you want to fight. Don't just position because you always position there. Where do you actually want to fight this? Like, look at your ults. Like, okay, where do you want to put these ults? Right? And it's one of the reasons the first thing you do after a fight's over, win or loss, is go, okay, what else do we have? What else do they have? Because it'll tell you not only where you want to fight, but it'll tell you where the enemy team wants to fight. So like for example, you know, like on the last map, right? On the last map, you know that not there. Like on the last map, like this fight, for example, you know that they have 4 ultimates, including Grav and Shatter and Pulse Bomb. So they actually want to fight in these close range stuff, and they want to go first. So because of that, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to hack either one of the 2 tanks here, and you're gonna want to fight first. So we trade Coles and everything, but we're gonna want to fight first. So we have to be very aware of this kind of a thing. So really knowing, like, always communicating the alt economy. And then knowing where you want to fight off of that alt economy is really, really important. The other thing that we saw really consistently, I only said it once or twice because I was really focused on the fact that like we were kind of out of position, I don't know, constantly, is the target focus. Because like I showed it to you once or twice. We're like, we're over here, we're over here, we're over here, we're over here. Like everyone was everywhere. So we need to be aware of that and really like call what we're doing and consistently call it. And I think that's honestly more so than anything else. I think the target focus is the thing that pushed us over the edge and got us these next 2 map wins after this one that I'm not going to VOD review. But target focus is really what improved to get us over the hump. So target focus, all we did was ramp up the intensity and the target focus, and we overcame a 3.6 to 3.7 team. So what happens if we actually start talking about where we want to fight, right? And we keep that same target focus and that same intensity. That'll put us over the 3.7 to 3.8 range, right? That'll put us up into that range. But so the scrim today should be in the 3.5 to 3.6 range ish. And so really all you guys need to do to perform well against a 3.5, 3.6 is talk about your alt economy, and then make sure, like, you don't even really need to talk about where you need position. You just need to talk about your alt economy a little bit, and then you need to talk about what you're target focusing. Just that puts you, the 6 of you, at a 3536 level, right? So we don't need anything beyond that. Okay, so with that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and end the VOD review there. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me or just ask questions in our Discord. All right. Have a good time. Anyone else watching this, I hope it was educational. Bye.